Let's see here. I think I got this thing right. I may have to go over here for just a second. Check this out. Let me quit fooling with that. And I'll throw it on here. I like that. Apparently somebody's watching. Howdy. And, well, maybe they not. Maybe it's just me. That's all right. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, that's just me. Well, that's all right. It's not a big deal if I'm the only one watching this. But yeah. Anybody watching this will know I love to just talk. So I just talk. Spend a little bit of time, I guess, talking to myself. I'm okay with that. After all, I just noticed it wasn't but one of my subscribers. One of the folks that I subscribe to, I guess is a better way to put it. There's somebody that I subscribe to that I am watching right now. They're just doing some fishing. I'm watching them on the TV while I'm, sitting here talking. So, well, they own. I can see them. Today's word, $5 word, is parsimonious. It seems to be a real good word for right now. I am parsimonious, and I give you the definition of parsimonious. Parsimonious is well, I guess it'd be an adjective. It's descriptive. It is an individual that is stingy or frugal. And today's, in today's society, the way prices are going, seems to me it's pretty dadgum important to watch you nickel and dimes. They used to have a saying that, what's up, Kentucky Survival? Good morning, sir. Good to see you. I'm going to throw that link on there. If you want to join, you're welcome to. Love to have you. I do like them $5 words. My family, they do a lot of, they smart people. They use a lot of these $5 words. Good morning, Heavy Metal Mom. It's good to see you too. Y'all pull some interesting stuff out there, out of the water. I probably ought to put on here accent. Who's got an accent? I've had a couple people ask me recently where I was from. I'm in Mississippi, or as we like to say, Mississippi. And I think I told a story about, when I was out in Houston, everybody there was from Michigan. And they said I sounded like a redneck. And then I moved here to Mississippi, and I actually said Mississippi. And they said I sounded like a Yankee. So that was kind of funny. I think they call that a dichotomy or something like that. I don't know. What's up, Frontier Survival? Howdy, how you doing? Good at Pafford. Man, all the superstars are here today. That's awesome. I did throw a link up there in case anybody wants to join. I love to talk, and I'll be glad to talk myself. But it's always better to have somebody else up here to talk with. And I can talk with y'all on the chat and respond to it and everything. But supposedly all you got to do is click on that link I put on there, and it'll take care of that. It may ask you to approve the microphone and stuff myself. So I'm really kind of learning. Al, good to see you, Mr. Al Chafe. By the way, that was a very interesting comment, and I thought that it was, in fact, if you want to discuss it, you're welcome to join. I'll discuss pretty much anything. I've been talking about some $5 words. I like $5 words, and I like how to speak redneck too. I did a lot of videos on those. In fact, one of my favorites has got to be her britches is so tight you can see her religion. That's a funny one. Or that boy could eat corn off the cob through a picket fence. I always copycat. Good to see you too, brother or sister. I can't tell from the name, and I ain't good with names. So even though folks sometimes tell me their name, if it ain't in the in the title in their channel name, sometimes I just don't get it. Oh, sweet. Let me get over here. What's up?
Gary.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you too. How is everything?
Oh, I'm blessed. I am blessed. I pretty much stay blessed. I
Nice
probably
to-
ought to turn up my volume a little bit so I can hear a little bit better. Hey, you ain't on that. Well, it don't look like you in that same spot you usually in. Are you in the same spot or you just a different angle?
No, I'm actually in my house today. I'm not out on my step.
Okay. By the way, man, awesome beard. You gotta love the beard.
It's a work in progress.
How long did it take you to grow that thing that long?
I would say when my first videos, I had it trimmed down, so it's got to be a year and a half, almost 2 years.
That's impressive. Have you ever seen that show? That movie. What's up, our new land? Good 805. Hey, we got some real all stars in the chat, and that's always a good thing. I was going to, of course, the problem, that I often encounter is that I get a little bit what you call scatterbrain.
Yeah.
And, I get distracted, and sometimes it takes me a few minutes to get back to what I was thinking.
I saw every single moment of the day.
Oh, I know what it was. That there's a movie with David Spade in it, and I think there's a second one, but the second one wasn't near as good as that other one. And it was Joe Dirt. Well, that was the character, Joe Dirt. And he would talk about how he could not grow. I can't either. I'm pretty much full-blooded redneck. Mine just really kind of grows here and under here.
Just hang on a second. I'll be back in just a second.
Yeah, cool. Do your thing, man. Let's see here. There's a way. I'll mute your mic, or is that just for a minute, or I'll unmute it, or I don't know. Anyhow, Mud Mascara, good to see you. Backwoods Boy, Small Engines, thanks for joining, man. We just having some fun, just relaxing. I was talking with Al a few minutes ago about whenever he now you were telling me about how Canada is taking away, making it illegal for to own guns. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. If you back, I don't know if you back, but in the meantime, I guess I could throw out another $5 word. Heuristic, maybe. That's one I've heard. No. I mean, that is a good one. There's no doubt. Heuristic just means a common sense solution to a problem. And it just seems like there ain't a whole lot of that going on right now. And, but the one I was thinking about, Ashley, good to see you, darling. I got a link up there if you want to join at some point. Well, anybody's welcome to. Okay, we got Al back.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, dude. You got stuff going on. We got lives to live. We can't put it all on hold just to talk with somebody here on the YouTube. Tell me about this whole thing going on. Y'all got this dude up there by the name of Justin Trudeau, don't y'all?
Yeah, we like to call him Justin Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau. I saw some stuff on him like last year, year before. What's up, Mary Grow with me? And Chris and Larry, cool. Hey, thanks for pointing that out. If y'all don't mind, throw a thumbs up on this thing. You know, tell me about Justin Trudeau and what's going on up there in Canada.
Well, it's not that he's trying to make guns illegal. He banned over 1,500. So people that already own these guns now are in possession of an illegal firearm.
Well, let me ask you this. And I don't know because I'm no lawyer, although interesting enough, my degree is in criminal justice, and it was my intention to going on to law school. I just couldn't see staying in school for another 3 years. So I just took my degree and ran. Morning, Devil Dog. Awesome to see you. Hey, man, why don't you're welcome to join us. Always a pleasure to see you on the panel. But is it possible? And I don't know. I know more. Well, obviously, I would know a little bit more about the legal system down here in the United States than up in Canada. Now, is it possible that maybe the people could be grandfathered in with what's already existing?
No, they put into the bylaws that now these guns, the original owners can own them, but when they die, they have to be turned in and destroyed. You're not allowed to pass it down. You're not allowed to grandfather it to anybody. And right now, they're trying to freeze all handgun sales and purchases. So unless you currently own a handgun, you will not be allowed to buy one. Now, you got to understand, our rules up here for firearms and guns are so strict. Like, I know down in the States, you can get like a 30, 60 round magazine. You can get for a handgun, you can get a 20 round magazine. Up here, for a handgun, maximum 10. For a rifle, maximum 5. Doesn't matter what the gun is. So
now,
like you get an AR-15. You're only allowed 5 shots.
Good night. That ain't many shots.
No, that's nothing. But I mean, like here's the police officers in the car with a 60 round magazine.
That's a lot. That is a lot of rounds.
Right? So I mean, like,
go ahead.
It's weird the way they're trying to do it, and they think what his argument is that if we ban the guns and we make it illegal for people to own the guns, then no one will have the guns. Okay, hang on now. Just so happened here last night in fact, they let a guy out of jail who was in jail for gun-related crimes. He got out of jail, went out last night, got a gun, and shot someone. Now, he was in jail for gun-related crimes. How did he get a gun?
I don't know.
Right? So, okay, did Justin Trudeau's law stop him from getting a gun? No, it's not gonna. The only thing it's gonna do is people like me that like those, like I like the AR style rifle.
Sure.
I'd like to have a bunch of handguns. I wanted to start collecting them, but now I can't. But the people like me that do it responsibly and legally now are not going to be allowed to even own them.
Well, that's
but they seem to think that that's going to stop all the criminals from getting the guns. Hang on now. There's so many guns that come into the country illegally. It's not even funny. And I could right now go out and buy handguns illegally. No problem. I know people that are at it and into it. I kind of steer clear of them just because of, they're into some shady stuff. But if I really wanted to, I could get it. Right? But I'd rather go through legal channels.
Sure.
I got my firearms license and everything like that. And in fact, I don't know if I'm right or not, but down in the States, when you're of age, you need to get a firearms license, right?
Well, that's a good question. I think, and to be honest with you, I don't think you do. I mean,
No, so if you're of age and a legal citizen, you can go in and purchase a firearm.
yeah, you can
Right,
go get
okay.
gun. Now you have to do a background check and everything when they say you gun.
Okay, here I had to spend $300, spend 3 days in a course in school. I had to go through background checks and everything like that. Then I had to wait 3 months to get a license for non-restricted weapons. That's like shotguns and small arms and stuff. Now, in order for me to get anything like an AR-15, which I can't anymore anyway, or a handgun, I actually have to go back to school again, another 3 days in a course, another round of background checks, another $300, and another 3 to 6 months waiting to get a license just to get a handgun.
Well,
So
that's crazy.
it is. It's crazy the way they does it. And they think, okay, well, and I mean, like, it's stupid because a lot of people like me now, I got my non-restricted license, so I can buy certain types of guns and whatnots and semi-automatics, stuff like that, but I can't buy handguns or anything. Now, right now, I was going to go, when this license is set to expire, I was going to go and get the restricted one so I could get my handguns and that.
Yeah.
They would have made $300 off of me, the government. They're not going to make that now because I'm not going to get it. Why would I? I can't get none of the guns that I want because they're banning them all.
Well, the thing that I guess the thing that bothers me is, and I see it, it's thankfully, one thing I am very thankful for is that being here in the United States of America, we got this Constitution and a Bill of Rights that, and it makes it awful difficult for those folks what, want to try to do away with them. Thankfully, I live in an area that is, I guess, what you'd consider red, fairly conservative, fairly rural, and folks around here tend to think the way that I do. But there's folks in the big cities a lot of times that tend to be more blue, I guess you'd say. And I swear I try to stay away from a lot of political stuff just because it just upsets me. It bothers me. I try to, honestly, I try to sit back and look at things from, both sides. I try to. I'm not always successful at it. But, for example, I had, I watch a lot. I watch a whole lot of YouTube. And it used to be, it was all, I'll admit, I used to watch a lot of these mega channels. I'd binge on a lot of these, especially when you're dealing with like gardening, because gardening to me is important. I think that it helps folks develop skills that may be very important in the fairly near future. But hang on a second, my brain just keeps, bouncing down every. But I think, and because I get to thinking about gardening and how that's important, and I kind of forget what I was thinking. But I tend to believe, I know what I was going to say. I was watching a video the other day. I got a whole bunch of folks that I'm subscribed to, and I try to watch every one of their videos. That's getting harder and harder every day. A lot of times I just queue them up and let them run, try to comment as much as I can, just to let them know I'm there and supporting their channel. But there was one, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail because, I'm still thinking on it, pondering on it, dwelling on it. But I got one that I got sort of a veiled threat, not from them so much as like their spouse. And first I was a little bit indignant. I ain't gonna lie to you. At first I was a little bit indignant, and then I sat there and I thought, well, let me look at what I've commented on. To me, it was fairly, I try to be, when I make comments, I try to be kind and thoughtful, and I always try to say something that is encouraging. And so anyhow, I see, looking at it, I guess I could see where that might sound maybe like it was flirtatious or something to some folks. Now it was a young lady that had made this video, and I wasn't flirting. I was just
that's being nice, like it would be.
I thought so, and it was a good video too. But and then my mind went to, well, this, because it was their husband apparently that made the comments about it, and I at first I was a little bit indignant and thought it was kind of funny because I'm a happily married man. I'm not trying to pick up no women on no YouTube. That just don't make any sense to me. But okay, yes, let me throw a link down in there. But and then I thought, well, if I go through and I try to respond to those in a nice manner, and for a couple of reasons. First of all, they probably just a troll. Sometimes it was not in this case, but a lot of times they just like a troll or something, just trying to get you riled up, and if you take your time and say, hey man, I appreciate the advice. I don't think it's that way, but I'll look into it and consider it. It gives a little bit more, let them know that you are kind of, it lets them know that you're kind of, considering what they're saying. And I think that gives them a little bit more of a voice. Sometimes people just want to be heard. What's up, Devil Dog?
How's it going?
I don't know. Devil Dog, you may be.
Can you hear us?
I don't know if you can hear us.
There.
Okay, that's
my computer's just lagging a little bit behind.
That's all right. One of these days we'll have to get one of those GoFundMe things for you to get a new computer.
Yeah. Hey, let me show you something real good. You can pin things at the top, right, Gary?
Can you?
I'm fixing to show you how, like, if you have an open panel and you want people to be able to just see the link and come up top, okay, scroll up to where you type that link at in YouTube. You got YouTube window open as well?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. On the right-hand side of your comment, find your comment with that link in it. On the right-hand side of it, you'll see 3 dots. And you click on those 3 dots.
Tell you what, it may be easier just for me to put a new link in there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you
that way I can find it.
Yeah, if chat's backwoods boy, small engines. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. And hey, how do you say that? Canadian. How you say Alchafe. Okay. Yeah, okay. You see those 3 dots at the right hand side, Gary? Yeah, I'm subscribed to you, Alchafe. But
yeah, I know. I'm subscribed to you too.
I see it.
Okay, click on those 3 dots and you see where it says pin comment.
No, I don't. Wait a minute. I'm trying to, but all I'm seeing is block user, put in timeout, but that's me. So why would I want to block myself?
No. Are you actually clicking on the 3 dots over to the very right hand side?
I'm sorry. I'm in the StreamYard. Here we go. All right. I see it now. And pin message. All right.
There you go.
I'm gonna pin it.
And it's going to pin at the very top of the YouTube chat. Right there it is. And now if anybody wants to come on panel, you ain't got to worry about dropping a link. You just tell them it's up top, and they can click on that link and come in.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it. Devil Dog, you always teaching me something. I appreciate it.
You have any acetaminophen?
Acetaminophen. Yeah, I do, baby. I always got acetaminophen. I'm my wife. I keep. I'm old. I keep a bunch of medications with me just for one thing or another.
Good morning, Mrs. Beltloop.
She said good. He said good morning, Mrs. Beltloop.
Oh, good morning.
There you go, babe.
Thank you.
Sorry, my wife Tammy is a lovely lady. She is. You know, I was just telling somebody the other day. My wife is a dangerous one in my family.
Thank you, alcohol prepper. Hey, Gary. Another thing is, I honestly, myself, I don't like this view because you see how if I just move a little bit, I go off the screen.
Okay.
I would. Yep, that's the layout I'd prefer. I mean, but that's up to you. If you like the big layout, that's fine. But
dude, that's good. It's all good.
Now you can bigify somebody with one click, okay, without having to do anything. See how Al Chafe there?
Yeah.
Now down at the bottom, you see you, me, and Al Chafe at the small windows down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a square in the top left-hand corner of each one of us, right?
Like it?
Yep, that's all you gotta do. But I was saying Al Chafe, and you bigify me. I didn't want to be bigified. All right,
it works for me.
Back to the gun conversation.
Yeah. I'm having a little fun with this.
That's good for when somebody is talking, like we were a minute ago, going on about the guns and everything like that. You can make the person that's talking actually bigger, so that.
And you also know how to share screens, right? Or share your screen or somebody else's screen, Gary?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Okay, I'll show you here in a second. But this may be really good and come in really handy for you if, like, say Al Chafe up there is wanting to share his computer screen because he has guns on it or something, and he's trying to show you something. He can take his screen and share it to you so you can bring it up here so you can see what he's talking about. You know that, right?
Man, I've seen people do that. I ain't got a clue on how to do it.
I'm fixing to show you.
Me either.
Learn it. Because you can share your own as well. Okay. If that is that something you want to know now, or you want me to show you later, or what?
You can show me now. I'm down with that.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me open another window.
See, I got a friend of mine what's interested in all this political stuff, and he's talked about doing a his own YouTube channel. He ain't done it yet, but he wanted to get him a green screen. I think I told you about that the other day. He wanted to get him a green screen, thought it would show everything on the green screen and I told him a green screen is just something you project something on. Why? And to me, the only way I knew to try and do that, and I've never done it, is try to capture it on something and then put it on there and then talk over it and do an insert. I'm learning a lot of stuff about this. So yeah. I'm sorry.
No, not a problem. It's your live. I'm fixing to show you a video here, but I was wanting to pull it up and get it ready before I did it.
Okay, that's all good. I was just saying that, on that situation I was talking about, I could see where maybe the feller thought that I was flirting with this woman. That wasn't my intention whatsoever. And then initially, I guess one of my early thoughts was, well, I'd be upset. I might be upset if somebody's flirting with my woman, but my woman can handle herself. She's pretty well. Like I said, between the two of us, she's more dangerous than I am, and I ain't dangerous. I'm just easygoing. Now you get me a little bit riled. I guess I can be a little feisty, but for the most part, I'm just kind of a laid back fella.
Some people take stuff a lot too seriously, though. They really do. I mean, like, and you know, if you're on here and you're doing videos and you're putting stuff out there, people are going to look at it. Some people are going to make comments on it, especially when you get into hundreds of thousands of followers. You're going to start getting people that are saying all kinds of stuff to you. So if you can't handle someone being nice, what are you going to do when you get someone that's really nasty about stuff?
That's true.
Right?
That's true. And
because there's people out there that do that all the time. I see it on other channels and that all the time.
Yeah, some folks like being mean, and I don't understand that. Some folks just have a tendency to, well, they ain't happy unless they unhappy. You know?
Yeah, it's like you said earlier too. There's people out there that are just trying to get you worked up over something.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it'll work with me because I tend to be very introspective. I tend to think about things and try to figure out, you know, if there's something behind what they're saying. There's a lot of folks going through a lot of stuff, and I get that. There's a lot of folks that you know, what makes up. What's up, Griswold family vacay? Good to see you. I missed a lot of folks, and I'm sorry about that, I'm sure. But
Heavy Metal Mama's in the house. I just watched their latest video. That was pretty good.
Yeah, they put out a couple, I think, pretty early. I think it was late last night, early this morning. I watched a couple of them myself. I tend to go back and review, and sometimes I've played something that I just hadn't commented on. And so do I just add this fourth one to it?
Yes, sir.
Devildogs?
Yes, sir. Right. I was just waiting on when you were ready.
All right.
All right. You see now, this is what you're talking about that you've seen other people do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All they have to do is bring that up like I did. And in order to do this, I'll show you in a minute. But see, then I can come over here and I can play it and people can see it. And I can,
range. We've got one of our AMD 65 complete rifles here, and it comes with a Magpul 20-round mag, which is cool and all.
You may want to mute it.
75-round drum. Drum. Am I right?
Yeah, I was just showing you. I have that gun.
Oh, that's pretty. Hope you don't mind. I muted it. I want to be able to hear you. You know, you got good volume over there. That's for sure.
No.
I guess I can unmute
the problem. No, that's not a problem. I was just wanting to show you that video because talking about pew-pews and stuff, and I actually have this gun, AMD 65. It's got the collapse. This is it's only partially done. This is the one I was telling you about.
What you want?
I think.
Okay. Sorry, my wife Otis has a tendency to bark, and he likes to let everybody know that he is upset for whatever reason, and so I guess it's kind of like dog, but you're devil dog.
Not a problem, but like I was saying, this is the gun I was telling you about that a guy ripped me off the other night when we were talking about it. See, I have the stock, I have the trigger guards, I have the barrel right here and everything. I just don't have the lower. The trigger. I don't have the lower or the magazine yet, but my son wants to get that 75-round mag and go hog hunting.
Is that a barrel?
I would not be allowed to own.
Sorry.
Like that anymore.
I'm sorry, I took it out. Now, let me show you how to do this. If you want to put something up on screen, and you can do it while you're host, Gary, or if you're on somebody else's panel to show them something, you see down at the bottom where it says share, right? Below our pictures, you click on the share. Once you click on the share, it'll say slides, video file, or share screen. So like that, you want another tab or whatever where it says share screen. And you click on that and you'll have a window open, and then it'll say screen sharing tips. It'll give you some tips and stuff. And then you go share screen. Once you go share screen, then it's going to pop up with the windows with StreamYard. or the other Windows tab that you have open and everything. And you would just click on that. Now, if there's a button or there's a little box at the bottom here when I'm at this point, and it'll say share system audio. So if you just wanted to show picture and no audio, you wouldn't click that button, that little square. But if you wanted to share audio, you click on that, and then you click share, and it'll pop up, and then you can add it to stream just like you did.
All right, cool. I also see where they got one where you can put the big screen and then just one person down in the corner, it looks like. I'm guessing that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and play with that.
Well, I'll do that at some point. I ain't going to do it right now. We got a conversation going on. The fact is that, with some of these things I'd like to know how to do, because I was figuring out, I'll be honest with you, I was thinking about, I wanted to do some shout outs to some of these good folks that I watch and that apparently watch me. And I was trying to figure out how to do it with like this editing, software. I use that OpenShot. It does a pretty good job for me. I had to watch a bunch of videos on how to do it, but I think that, it's important to continue to learn throughout life.
Let me ask you this. Are you subscribed or have you seen Mr. Boots and Bounty? And this goes for everybody in the chat. Yeah, he has several videos. His Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. He goes through different things like how to set up Nightbot. So on mine, like if this was my live or whatever, people over in the chat could type USMC and it'll drop their link to their page. That's Nightbot. But he'll have how to set up, how to do different things, how to video edit, and he's very good. So I'll type his name in the, and if y'all are not subscribed to him and want to learn how to do stuff, and I'm
Mr.
Copycat. Yep.
I think the first thing I ever said to him was, do you also do bail revocation or something like that? You go bail bounty, do bail bounties or something like that.
Yeah, make sure you put the Boots, the Mr. on the Boots and Bounty, because yes, Boots and Bounty is his channel as well, but that's his main channel. And Mr. Boots and Bounty is his help desk and things like that. And hey, Chris and Larry, they know him. Mud Mascara, thank you for coming in. Let's see. Oh, you and then Copycat, I appreciate it. That's because I was a United States Marine, and the nicknames for Marines because of World War II is Devilldog, which was actually the Germans called us Teufelhunden, which the translation of that is Devil Dog.
Devilldog, we ought to have the Belt Loop and Devilldog show or something like that. I'm just thinking about that. I have no doubt, Mr. Devilldog, that you know a lot more about the guns and what have you than I do. I like them, when I shoot them. I'm a decent shot, but and I know a lot of folks that do a lot of that are really into guns. I see that beautiful gun, and so what are your thoughts on this situation there? And hey, I got several of them myself. I don't have a revolver though. I don't have a revolver.
Those are the only ones in this room. I have 2 revolvers, but we also have a 9mm.
Okay.
I have that. That one's a 32. I have a 357 in my room, and my son's room back there is a 9mm. Got 2 22s, got a 270, got a 7mm, got several black powders.
I got 2 black powders.
Yeah, my son's got 2 black powders back there, I think 2 or 3 or something.
That's cool.
No, I'm jealous. See, I've got 4, 5. I've got a 12 gauge shotgun that was Dad's. I've got my 20 gauge. I've got my 22, my 9mm, and my 223 rifle. None of which are AR style platform because we're not allowed to have them anymore.
Yeah, I have that AMD 65, but it's not fully functional yet, and that's our next gun that we want to get. Me and my son. My son's 24 years old. I'm 50, but we want to get an AR, but just ain't got the money for it. You know, it's like $800-900. I can get them because there's a gunsmith that lives right by me. But he didn't want to mess with my AMD 65 though. That's why I took it to somebody else.
Yeah.
I've got a AR, but I bought it as a kit and had a friend of mine put it together. But he obviously didn't do quite as good a job as I would have liked, because every time I fire it, I have to rack another round.
Oh.
But I've been meaning to take it to a gunsmith or something. It's funny. A lot of these folks that don't. I saw the funniest thing. Y'all seen that video where somebody says, "Watch what an AR will do," and then they take a shotgun and shoot a watermelon.
Yeah.
These folks like that, they want to talk about something they don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Now,
that's the problem up here.
I'm not as knowledgeable as fellas like y'all.
How you doing, Chuck?
But I know the difference between a shotgun and a rifle.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple.
Okay. Al Chafe may know more about this. Hildy Johnson said, in Canada, are they passing a law about what you can say and can't say on YouTube? I heard this from Chrome in Canada. I watch his videos.
Here in Canada, if I say the word gun, my video will get demonetized. It won't get shared. It won't get seen. If I show one, same thing. Won't get seen, won't get shared. The Canada YouTube laws are so strict. Like, if you're watching my channel, I don't talk about my hunting. I don't talk about my firearms. I don't talk about no politics. I don't get into nothing of the sort, because the second that you do, they'll restrict your channel. So it's not just firearms and that. It's a lot of stuff they'll restrict your channel with.
See, to me, that sounds like a repressive government.
Yeah.
It is. It's what it is. It's
Canada's
your freedom of speech.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Canada's a socialist country because they have the healthcare and everything else that is government ran and everything else. So they're not capitalist and they're not democratic. Well, they may be democratic, but they're do y'all vote for your?
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called. So they are democratic, but they're not capitalist. They're socialist. To where it comes to their health care, the government pays for their health care and manages it and everything else like that. So they are kind of on the socialist part.
Yeah, but we pay probably 3 times the taxes you guys pay.
Yeah, well, see, here in Texas, I mean, we pay a state tax and we pay like property tax and stuff like that. But the state of Texas,
we still got property tax and everything like that. That's done by municipality.
Well, see,
but we have federal and provincial sales tax, and not to mention the taxes that are taken out of your check every week is
see, each state is different, because like California, for example, they have a state income tax to where when you get paid, they take tax out of it or whatever, and the federal government takes theirs out of it. But like here in Texas, we don't have a state income tax, but we have a sales tax, which is like 8%. So like on every $100 you're paying $8 tax or whatever.
Oh, ours is 15, and they're trying to hire it. They're trying to put it up more.
Not a problem, Chuck.
Well, people, when they listen to me, I think they tend to think I'm conservative, and I probably am in some ways, and but I'm also very empathetic, and I guess what folks would say was old school liberal in some ways too. Just as long as we touching on all these forbidden subjects, I might as well, mention, like the death penalty. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that people do things that they should be put to death for, but I don't think it makes any sense, paying what we paying. It's like $8 million to put to execute somebody who's been given the death sentence. And I don't know why I'm moving into this area. It's just where my brain bounced to. I think that, so in some ways, I guess I could be considered liberal. In some ways, I'm conservative. I think I'm more of what you call a libertarian, somebody who believes that my rights ought to extend up until the point where they infringing on somebody else's, and their rights should extend up till the point they start infringing on mine.
Well, let me jump in there. I mean, you're not monetized yet, Gary. And here's the thing: I'm sorry.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you show, from what I understand, if you show pew-pews or get into that discussion or some of the other discussions or whatever, whenever you do get monetized, you cannot monetize that specific video or live or whatever else. Otherwise, you get a copyright claim and stuff like that. But that being said, if you want to go there, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you on the death penalty. I'm in Texas. I'm for the death penalty. But there are kind of things that, I mean, I would, for one, the court process or the judicial process or whatever takes way too freaking long.
Exactly.
If somebody's going to get the death penalty, then, for one, I believe that should be 100% without a doubt, evidence wise, I mean,
no doubt.
There's things here that I don't like about our judicial system because of the fact that, you're supposed to be, innocent until proven guilty. That's not the case all the time and stuff like that because of circumstantial evidence and this and that. Yeah. So I don't believe that someone should get the death penalty if there's circumstantial evidence. You know what I'm saying? Without just because a jury finds it probable that they did it or whatever else, and they find the person guilty, I think there should be, an overwhelming evidence and overwhelming doubt. But, that's my political thing. I do believe in the death penalty, but I believe that the court process, the judicial process is drawn out way too long because you're feeding, housing, freaking everything else. And that's another thing is the inmate population and everything else. There's people that should be in jail. There's people that shouldn't be in jail.
I agree.
I mean, the thing is, and that I'm conservative on that fact as far as, I'm for corporal punishment, but then it goes back to the judicial system as well, because somebody gets caught with some marijuana and they put them in jail. No, I don't agree with that. Because, I mean, and some people say marijuana is a gateway drug and everything else. But now if it's PCP or, something like that to where they're violent, to where meth, a lot of times people get hooked and steal and, break into people's houses, steal people's money, property, stuff like that, then, yeah, that should be a jailable offense.
You're right.
Because of marijuana, man, come on. Even if it's marijuana is a gateway drug, alcohol, there's more people that die because of alcohol and everything every year than marijuana. I mean, and people usually the potheads aren't going breaking into people's house stealing stuff to buy pot. Honestly,
I know
so that to me. I mean, I'm not a user. Okay, honestly, I'm not a user of marijuana, but for one, and my personal and religious beliefs and everything else may or may not agree with what I'm about to say, but if pot is to each his own to me. And then if you're talking about a moral or ethical thing, that's between them and their God, because I'm not, he who's without sin, let him cast the first stone. And I'm sorry, I'm not reading comments right there and stuff, but that's between them and God. That's their personal decision, everything else, So I'm not against people smoking marijuana, and I don't think it should be a ticket. I think it should be legalized, honestly. Let them do what they want to.
It's completely legal up here now. You can go into, there's stores popped up everywhere up here now. You can just go in and buy it.
Well, some states
treat it as the same as alcohol here. If you're caught smoking or driving, you're going to get a ticket and you're going to get a DUI.
Some states it's legal here too, Alchef. Like California, Colorado, Washington. I think there's certain states it's legal here too. And now Texas is highly conservative, so it's not legal in Texas. But
Mississippi too.
I don't mean to cut you off for a second. Just I was watching a really funny video. Buddy drove into California, and he got pulled in, and the cop got him to roll down the window, and he said, "I smell weed," and he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Weed is legal here." He's like, "Okay, where did you get the weed to?" "Oh, I bring it with me." "Oh, can I see it?" And he got him to open it, and he sniffed it, and he said, "Can you throw it out the window?" And he said, it's just easy. He said, "Just throw it out the window." So Buddy was like, "Okay," and he threw it out the window, and the cop said, "Well, I'm giving you a ticket now here for littering." And he was like, "Why am I getting a ticket for littering?" He said, "Because that weed was garbage." You got a good laugh out of this.
Yeah, it's I tend to be conservative on that, or I was for a long time. I just think until they get well, not the weed thing, but the whole death penalty thing, I tend to be until they can. Of course, we got a flawed system. It is true, but it is, as far as I can tell, the best system out there going. It is flawed. I just think that in a lot of instances, unless they can change the system where it's fairly quick, it doesn't cost so much, because it costs a whole lot less to house somebody, for really their entire life than it does to put somebody to death. From a fiscal, standpoint or financial standpoint, it seems like they ought to.
How is that though, Gary?
Well, I think it's primarily because the fact that when you put somebody on death row, they've got, they're pretty much confined to one room, and it's typically death row rooms, cells are larger. They take more space. It's more to construct them. It's more intensive as far as observation. And the cost of the legal fees, because, somebody gets sentenced to death, they're going to go through all the way through the system. They're going to be appealing that, every time you turn around. That doesn't always happen with other cases.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Even I don't see how it's cheaper to put somebody to death than it is to house them for the rest of their life.
No. It's a lot more expensive to put somebody to death.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Just misunderstood.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it's more expensive to put somebody to death, because even if it's not on death row and appeals courts and everything, for one, that's what I'm saying. They need to, on certain cases, they need to have the priority instead of waiting years and years and years and years to actually process and go through the appeals process and everything else. They need to put that like priority one or whatever, speed up, get it over with, whatever.
They actually fast track it. I mean, I think that's, but seriously,
I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if you get a chance, look into it a little bit and find out, because what you're going to find, I've looked into it just because I was curious, but it does cost a whole lot more to execute somebody on death row than it does to house somebody.
Well, it wasn't like that in the Western days. They just hang them.
Yeah.
In Texas,
get you on a horse and put a rope on a tree.
In Texas, it's still on the books, I believe, that cattle rustling is still a hangable offense.
Well, I think there's one city here in Mississippi that you can it's illegal to shave in the road.
You were a cop here in Texas, right?
No. I lived in Texas when I was at U.
Yeah,
and I did not become a police officer until 2014 is when I went through the academy in 2015. And so I was 49 years old when I started working there, and pretty sure I was 50 years old when I went through the academy. In fact, I was the oldest person in my class 249 at Malota.
You watch the TV show The Rookie?
I'm not sure if I've seen it.
Oh, it's a pretty good show. It's about the same situation. He was a construction contractor and everything else, and then he got robbed or something like that, and he decided to go be a police officer. But he's in a the academy or whatever with people that are a whole lot, kids basically, and he's here in his 40s or 50s, and stuff, or 40s probably, and he becomes a cop and stuff. So that's why I asked that.
Hey, Al.
Yeah.
I just gonna say, man, you gonna have to speak up a little bit.
No, I'll butt in. Don't worry.
You tend to be, I'm impressed with you in a lot of ways, and the fact that you can just chill and relax a little bit. And when because me and Devil Dog, we have a tendency, it looks like, to talk a lot.
I don't mind. I'll just chill out here and listen for a while. I'm very patient.
I appreciate that.
But I mean, like, one thing I gotta chime in on is, I'm against what the Liberal government up here is doing with the gun laws and everything, but I'm not in no way, shape, or form against any of the gun laws. What I do think they should be doing is taking all this money that they're throwing at taking away all of the responsible people's stuff and throw it at all of the criminal activity that's going on. Because if you think for 1 second banning an AR type rifle is going to stop a criminal from getting his hands on it, you're out of your mind.
Well, I agree.
The only one that obeys them gun laws is law-abiding citizens, and they ain't the one that you'd be worried, and you should be worried about having a gun.
Well, I mean, like, it was tragic there about 5 or 6 years ago. Some guy hopped in an SUV and tore down one of the streets and killed 17 people in the SUV up in Ontario. You don't see him trying to ban SUVs. Right? It don't make sense. He killed more people with that SUV than if you fired a shot in downtown Ontario, everyone would scatter. You probably wouldn't get a chance to shoot any more than 2 or 3 people because they'd all be gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
If the gun laws were better here and less than what they are, I'm not going to say less than what they are, but if they were better here and our rights were more protected here, if someone pulled a gun on someone, they're probably like down in Texas. I saw a video, buddy went into a gun store of all places and tried to hold it up, and he got shot 17 times because everyone in there was carrying a gun.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of times you don't see that in the media. I'm serious.
No, you don't.
You'll see the bad stuff in the media about school shootings, about this, about that, and everything else. Well, but you don't see nothing to where somebody tries to come into a convenience store in Texas and somebody's got a weapon and they get stopped or they get killed or they, arrested and stuff like that. You don't see none of that.
They hide that stuff away because they call it vigilante. It's not vigilante. It's protecting your stuff.
Yeah.
Because it kind of goes back, if you ask me, you go back 20, 30 years, and you may have to go back further than that, maybe 40. But there was only 3 channels down here. There's ABC, CBS, and NBC. And everybody watched those 3 channels, and people went out and turned their antenna, and you had to go up to the TV and turn the channel. And now everything's so convenient, and think about it. There's not only for their entertainment, you got channels galore. You got over 500 channels and nothing to watch. Plus you've got stuff like this right here where folks just sitting around chit chatting, and that can be very engaging.
Why can't we make a deal real quick with Canada to send all the people that think like Al down here and all the Californians and stuff like that to send up there?
Man, you know how badly I want to move down to the States. It's not even funny. One of my friends moved down to Nevada and he got married down there. He moved down because he met someone online, and he moved down and he got married. And it's like, I think it was 6 months later, he said he sent me the picture. He got his citizenship. And he said, now I can go and buy whatever type of gun I want. I called him all kinds of names because I was like,
that's another thing. I'm for legal immigration. Okay, yes. I'm for legal immigration, but I'm against illegal immigration. I believe in.
Well, yeah, because that takes away from what you're doing down there. I mean, like it does. It takes away from jobs that could be for.
Hey, there's my girl right there, Tarsha. You feel like coming up on panel? Have you seen her? You checked out her channel, Triple Threat Firearms and Defense.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
She was in a live stream there earlier. I was looking at.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Hey,
good morning, Rebecca.
How's everybody? Good to see you, Rebecca, and Tarsha. Tarsha, you welcome to join. You know, we'd love to have you. You know.
Hi, Tarsha. I just looked up and saw it there on the screen. I had to turn on my computer screen because I use my phone for the live stream because it's better it's better with the video feed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out how to work this thing. And
if you have any questions, Gary, at any time, just let me know.
Well, I thought that might be how you did that, so I'm just kind of learning this program, I guess. And it's Otis, be quiet.
Let's see Otis. Bring Otis up.
Well, this is Otis. He is the man, and it's funny because he don't act like he wants any attention, but he'll bark till you do what he wants you to do. Yeah. Bell, come here.
All right, Chris. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Chris has a live in an hour.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be on off of that before then. My wife just informed me that she wants to go in about, well, it's probably 20 minutes, 20 or 30, 25 minutes from now, whatever, to somewhere. I don't know where it was, but I said okay. So I think it may be to go get a bale of hay. She's we got these goats down here, and there's some kind of $high hay that they apparently comes in pretty good bales, I think, that the goats apparently like. And so she's always, I mean, we've only just got them a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Well, it's probably 2 weeks ago now.
What the goats?
Yeah, we got goats. We got two pygmy goats. One's named Lucy and one's named Nellie. And I didn't care for the Lucy name. Nellie, I mean, I could understand because she's been named that for a long time. But Lucy's just a youngin' and a kid, you might say. But anyhow, so we got them, and Tammy has wanted goats for a long time. This is she says it's to clear the brush, but she don't want to let them out either. So I don't know why we got the goats, but if it makes her happy, I'm happy. So anyhow, she's from time to time, Tammy will step in and tell me this or that. And, like I said, she's the dangerous one in our relationship. I'm just kind of okay for the most part. But I kind of got sidetracked off of that. If he's got a live, we should be finished. I don't know.
We still got an hour. We still got an hour.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad to hear we got some, a little bit of time because, we ain't finished talking. And, at some point I'm going to have to throw on some real britches. Right now I got these 29 britches on. You see, I got BELTLOOP29, right? I'll let y'all see my britches.
Hold on.
See?
Let me get
it. They just kind of some leisure shorts or something that got 29 on from Kevin Harvick. I went through a stage where I watched a whole lot of racing and collected a whole bunch of stuff. Have mercy. Tarsha.
Actually, in just a few hours.
Hey,
Tarsha.
Hey, how y'all doing?
460
Good.
Good.
I'd love to push them.
Thank you for coming up.
500 that they're thinking.
In a non-flirt.
Archaeologists, they uncover history.
In a non-flirt. Let me just say, it's good to see you, Tarsha. And I'll be honest with you, every time I see you, it brings a smile to my face.
Yeah.
Aww.
I mean, I ain't flirting. My wife is in the other room.
He's a stalker. He's a cop stalker.
You better be careful. You're going to get in trouble again.
I guess that feller that made that comment yesterday just kind of, made me think, how I'm coming across? And sometimes, I guess I can understand why somebody may, because especially when you're talking about written comments, written comments sometimes can be misperceived, I think, because there's over 70% of communications is nonverbal, I reckon, or non-word related, whatever. Hey, Tart, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been outside since 6:30 this morning.
Well, that's the time to do it with it hot as it's been being.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But you ain't gonna catch me up at 6:30 in the morning working in the garden. You catch.
I love it. I'm an early morning person. I get up between 4 and 5 every day.
Perfect. I didn't go to sleep till 5:30 this morning.
Can't do it.
I'm serious.
That's why I be struggling trying to get to watch some people lives late at night. I be struggling.
Yeah, see, that's like Shane, Great Farmer Freelance in the morning. I hardly ever get his shows unless I'm up from the previous night and haven't went to sleep yet, because I'm not a morning person.
Now, if you follow some of them folks, what's out west, like Arizona, I really like watching Drunken Chef Barbecue stuff.
Yeah.
He's got some serious skills when it comes to cooking and that editing and stuff. I'm impressed with his stuff. I really am. I think, yeah, of course, I'm sure it takes a while to do all that stuff. Mine's just kind of thrown together, I try, but it ain't never going to look as good as his stuff.
But sometimes thrown together stuff can be really good too. Because some of my stuff is just thrown together, and it's some of the best views I've gotten are ones that I only took like 5 minutes to do the editing.
Hey, my brother did a video of his pet possum Petunia eating grapes on his shoulder, and there was, it had over 100,000, 130,000 views, something like that.
Yeah. I killed a couple possums a while back, right? I've killed 4 coons because of my chickens. I set a live trap and didn't get nothing. It was always sprung and everything else, and probably it's because it was too small for the coons. But I don't like the coons or anything possums coming up by my chickens because they will kill them. So I wasn't successful with the live trap. So I put kind of like a that I got from a buddy of mine, Lone Star Pioneering, one of those spring loaded traps, kind of like a bear trap almost, but it's in a 5-gallon bucket. It has slits down it. You set it and put it there. I had it out 5 days. Well, actually 6. And I've killed 4 raccoons and 2 possums. And every night that thing was going on. The 2 possums I got in the same night. Well, first there was a male possum, I guess, or a female that didn't have babies. The second one that night, it went off, and it was a female possum, and 3 of its babies got killed in the trap. But I went out there to check it, and I seen some movement around its neck, and I thought the possum may still be alive. And now I look better. I'm like, no, its mouth's open, it's kind of tongue's hanging out or whatever. I'm like, it's not. We flipped it over, and it was a little baby that had crawled out of the pouch. I opened the pouch, and there was 4 more. So there was 5 babies that was still alive, and I took them to a rehabber. But they told me that they carry leptospirosis. Possums can carry leptospirosis, and dogs can get it, but dogs can be immunized for it. But people and horses can also get it, and people and horses can't be immunized. That's what they told me. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna handle possum.
I ain't gonna complain about. Again, this comes back to my libertarian. I guess it's libertarian. My views on. I've actually got a couple of videos out where I released a raccoon or a possums. So it is what it is. I ain't gonna complain about you killing something that's messing with your stuff.
Hey, this is the free version of StreamYard.
It is.
Okay. Mud Mascara. StreamYard will hold 6 different channels up here. If it's a free version, it'll hold 10 if you pay the upgraded version. Now, I pay like $19 a month for my upgraded version, but there's also a coupon code that some people have that you only have to pay $10 a month. You still have to have the little Power by StreamYard up in the top right-hand corner, but there's a little bit of differences, but that's six on the free version. So Gary can have 6 people up here, and like me, the upgraded version, I can have 10.
Yeah, I thought I was just special getting that little duck.
No, leprosy is carried by armadillos.
Well, I don't want to get that.
Yeah, I don't either. Not all armadillos have them, but they can carry leprosy. And I have armadillos on my property.
Okay.
I was looking at my game license the other day, and that's another thing too. I can't just go out and, like, if I got nuisance animals around my house or anything, I can't just set traps and kill them. I actually have to go and get a game license to do that.
Oh, your own land?
Yeah. So I was looking at my game license because I do have my small game license, and on it says porcupine. There's no porcupine here in Newfoundland that I'm aware of.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's a little bit crazy the way that they got some of the hunting regulations and stuff like that done up here. Because I mean, like, if I got squirrels tearing into my house, and there's a lot of squirrels out on back of my house because there's trees and that everywhere. If they start tearing up my house, I'm not allowed to set traps and catch them because it's considered a fur-bearing animal, and I have to go get an actual trapper's license in order to get that.
Tarsha, you did a lot of hunting when you were younger, didn't you?
Younger.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I can start back.
Just
land to do it on. It's just going out there by myself. I'm not ready to go out there by myself.
Salt white shoulders, 4 goats, and farmstead. What were you working on in the garden this morning, Tarsha?
Me and my kids been doing the no-till garden. So I'm gonna do my video, probably put that up this evening when I finish editing, and show y'all what I have already done.
Now, do you watch Charles Dowding?
No.
He's a fella over there in England that does a lot of stuff with no-till gardening. He's got 2 beds sitting side by side, and he does an experiment where he checks and sees how they compare. And one of them's no-till, and the other one, I think he forks. He's a pretty interesting character. He's got some stuff in some apple trees, I think, or some other stuff too. You know, I think he's kind of I think he may be like a mega channel type thing. And by mega channel, I just mean, a slew of subscribers. But if you get a chance, I would be more interested, or I am interested at some point in sitting and talking with you about that no-till, because I'm into gardening. At least I have been since 2020.
Well, I hope I did it right, but
my first in 2020 when I started gardening, the second. I don't know if it was the first or the second. We had them running at the same time. I did something like a Ruth Stout bed or garden. I called it the Annex at one point. It was all I did was went and got a load of gin trash, which is they call it garden soil added garden soil. It's not garden soil, but garden soil additive, or I don't know what they call it. It's up at Sutherland's, but ultimately it's just gin trash. And all I did is got a load of that in the back of my truck. They do it in bulk, so they just took the tractor and got 1 scoop, put it in the back of my truck, and I took it down to what I ended up calling the Annex. And there's, I think, a video or two. The very first video or two I shot, 2 of the first 3 was on the Annex, and it was a no-till. All I did was chunk it as bin trash on the ground and plant the plants that were starts. I didn't do from seed in that garden. I just did starts, but I put them in the ground and then covered them with hay. And those were some of the prettiest tomato plants and the prettiest tomatoes we had that year.
Let me ask you, did you put plastic over yours?
No.
or the weed barrier, because that's what I did, and I'm gonna put the holes in it.
We didn't, like I said, all I did was chunk that gin trash on the ground, set, kind of moved it aside and set that, and to where I could put those starts there on top, basically on top of the ground, and then just move the gin trash back around it. And it was so far from Mom and Daddy's house that really didn't water it either, but it held on water real well.
That's good. That's good to know.
And I have probably watched thousands of hours, just like my wife has on gardening. She does a lot on animals too, but and I've learned a lot of stuff. I mean, you could go, and I guess I was going to ask also whether or not you're doing more of a Ruth. Of course, not all no-till gardening is Ruth Stout or Back to Eden, but those seem to be two pretty popular, methods of no-till these days.
I have to look that up. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with it. I just started my gardening this year.
Oh, yes, ma'am. And I just didn't know, because sometimes I got another fella out there in Oklahoma I tend to watch. I guess when I started watching him, he was around 1,000 subscribers. He's now around 8, and he does entirely, deep mulch gardening. It cuts down on the weeds and everything without using a weed barrier. And I think you still, even with the deep mulch, you still have to do a little bit of weeding from time to time. You just got to keep constantly replenishing that mulch. But
Yeah.
if you're interested in that type of thing, some folks I would recommend go and see Wayland Smalley. He's good people. And
Charles Downing.
Dowding, Dowding, I think.
Okay, I will.
And he does a lot. Like I said, he's a good person to watch on it. You could just look up like Ruth Stout. That's RUTHSTOUT, I think. She was back in the 50s, I think, 40s or 50s. And she did Stealth Freedom. What's up? Good to see you. The Ruth Stout is basically what she did. She chunked her like taters just on the ground and, make sure they were covered with hay. And she was very laid back as far as, that was concerned. She figured that, hey, stuff grows out in wild.
Mm-hmm.
Why not let things just do their thing, I think. And then that Back to Eden is where they load up a bunch of wood chips on top. And there's folks that know a lot more than that, more than I about that.
Mud and Mascara Homestead said Gary Kilpatrick and with Rustic Gardener has good info as well. She said that in chat.
Okay, I'll check them out as well.
I think it's Gary Pilarchik with the rest of the maybe it's a different channel, but Gary Pilarchik also has the rusted garden, and maybe it's different. I don't know, but his name is Gary too, Gary Pilarchik.
How do you spell Pilarchik, Gary?
Pilarci or CHIK, I think. I believe that.
Mascara said that's right. Spelled name wrong.
Like I said, I've seen. I cannot tell you how many. In fact, Gary Pilarchik, you could ask me about just about any of these or a bunch of these big YouTubers when it comes to gardening, and I'll know a little something on them. I know that Gary Pilarchik does a lot when it comes to treatment of things and how to use like hydrogen peroxide and neem oil, and he's got some good stuff. A lot of times I'll go to his channel. I tend to go to different channels for different types of information because some people are really good and very clear about some things on their channel. And so it's just, what I do, I reckon. I've done so much research into it that I could probably speak pretty extensively on a lot of these channels. But these days, I watch so many things. I ain't got time to watch them big channels and mega channels. Not unless there's just something I'm trying to look up.
I like the smaller channels as well.
Well, there's an added benefit to watching a smaller channel too. And that's, you don't run into all these, the smaller ones typically, especially if you get them before they're at 1,000 or before they hit those 4,000, before they're monetized. You don't run into the commercials in the middle of it where you got to wait. And sometimes these commercials, I hate it when they put 15 seconds on before add another one on there.
Gary, what you may want to do if you're that dead set against commercials, you may want to pay the $9 or whatever to get the YouTube Prime or whatever. Yeah, YouTube Premium, where you don't get any commercials. But me, I'll sit and watch commercials because that's how YouTube. One of the ways YouTubers make their money is off the commercials. So
I don't mean to speak against. I just frustrating when I'm trying to get that information.
The commercials ain't that long though. I mean, honestly, well, most of them ain't. I went into one live one time and it was like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And I'm sitting there, people are chatting and I'm sitting here watching the commercial all the way through. And I was typing, I'm stuck in ad world and everything else. And then I told them and they're like, oh, why was it that long? That's because you said it that long, and whatever. But
just so you know, my wife has pointed to her watch. So we're going to
Hey, who wears the belt loop pants in that family?
To be honest with you, it is me.
Tammy.
But I'm what you call a gracious authoritarian, or I'm a hell, I don't know how to say it. I just know that
Happy life.
Happy wife, happy life. I know you got to pick your battles.
There you go.
Before y'all go, I just thought on it now. I left it in your comments on your video earlier. But I just got to ask, if you guys were in a situation where you're working in a store and you called in a robbery in progress, how long would it take for the police to show up?
It takes a while. You got time for a quick story, Gary?
Sure.
I actually walked into a bank being robbed. Okay.
You didn't turn around, just walk right out?
Exactly. Well, here's what happened. My brother gave me a check, and it was his bank. He gave me a check, so I was going to his bank to cash the check.
I told him we're about to leave, babe. Give me just a minute. Finish the story.
I can tell another time, if you want. If you got to go, Gary.
Well, I don't like making her upset. Happy wife.
We'll finish this another time.
I'll tell it another time. Somebody just remind me about the bank robbery, and I'll tell you because I actually walked in on it.
I do want to know about that. That sounds interesting at very minimum. So, but I love my wife. I just want to keep her happy, and to be fair, I ain't got to be at work till 3:15 and I don't get to, normally she works 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and she goes into work, and I normally work, like 3 to midnight or something like this. So, for the last 7 years or so, almost 8 years, I've only seen her really on Saturdays and sometimes a little bit on Sunday. And truth be told, I don't see her through the week normally. But for some reason, and I don't know what it is, where she's working at is they're working like 3 and 2 at the office, and then 3 and 2 at home. It may be 2 and 3, 2 and 3. I don't know. I just know that, I'm actually getting to spend a little bit of time with her, and she's here when her lunch break is. So this week is a little different than normal. And I'm blessed to be able to spend some time with her. The way I look at it, it's all, what do they call that in Louisiana? Lagniappe, I think it is. And Hildy, I'll join you, but we're just about to leave.
Well, I wanted to say that I've heard different things about Canada from YouTubers I watch.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's like they're trying to take away everybody's rights and their freedom of speech, and it's like a dictatorship.
Yep.
And it's happening here in the U.S. too, in some places.
Well,
and
apparently Justin Trudeau idolizes the way China runs its communist country. So
that's sad, but you know that's a discussion that's going to have to be a discussion for another time. Thank you for joining, Hildy. It's good to see everybody. You know, Al, it's good. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. And
it was great to be here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying it was great to be here. I'm glad I caught your live stream. I missed you last time.
Devil Dog, it's always a pleasure. Me and you, I think I could talk to you, you know, for long periods of time and just get lost in conversation.
I can talk to anybody long periods of time.
Me too. I do that. I got to take a breath.
Where at in Texas are you?
I'm by Houston. I'm in Dayton.
I'm in El Paso, Texas.
God bless Texas.
Gary used to live in Texas.
I did. I've lived in the DFW area, and I've lived down in by Houston. Went to Klein Forest High School for 11th grade, at least for part of 11th grade.
I stayed in San Antonio for a while.
But I'm
slap him in the back of the head.
And Tarsha, a triple threat, man. I am just so pleased to have you on here. I really am. And Hildy, I appreciate you dropping in. You came in a little close to the end. That's all right. You made it just 4 weeks. And I'm gonna have to go so I can go take my wife and go pick up a bale of hay or whatever she wants to do. I ain't gonna worry about that. But y'all have a blessed night, and I reckon I'm gonna end it in 3, 2, and I'll probably have
everybody. See you later.
Bye. Have a great week.
All right, I hit the wrong button. There.